feeling something bad is about to happen. He notices a driver in a truck that is asleep and about to hit a kid. Satoru pulls the driver's arm, saving the kid. Although while doing this, Satoru crashes into a car in front of him. He wakes up 2 days later in the hospital, seeing his co-worker Katagiri sitting bedside. Satoru then explains that what happened is what he calls a revival, where he goes back in time by about 1 to 5 minutes, right before something bad happens. When he finishes in the hospital, he comes back home to his mom cooking, and his mom tells him she's staying at his apartment to make sure he's all right. After they eat, Satoru's mom asks him if he remembers what happened in 5th grade, where 2 of his classmates got murdered. He remembers it, and recalls a guy named Yuki who was around 20 years old that often played with him. 6 months after the kidnapping incident, Yuki, or his actual name Shiratori Jun, was arrested as a serial kidnapper and murderer of his 2 classmates. The next day, Satoru is walking back from the grocery store, and another revival happens, although he has no idea what it is. He asks his mom if she notices anything, and he sees an adult walking with a young girl, although they don't seem to be father-daughter to her. When the man sees Satoru's mom looking at him, he takes off, although Satoru's mom takes a picture of him. He then sees Katagiri and starts walking back home with her. Although while walking home, we see the man with the young girl from earlier in a car looking at them. The 3 finish eating, and Satoru bikes Katagiri home. Satoru's mom then explains to Satoru that at the parking lot earlier, a kidnapping attempt was foiled, but she says she was kidding. The next day, Satoru was reading a book and sees a paper about the kidnapping and murder of Hinazuki Kayo, one of his classmates that was often alone at the park. Satoru's mom is at the grocery store, trying to figure out what was happening exactly at the parking lot, and she thinks they know each other. And all of a sudden, she remembers who it was. She believes it's the same person who kidnapped Satoru's classmates back in 5th grade, and she thinks it wasn't Yuki. When she gets home, all of a sudden she gets stabbed and dies. Satoru's walking home, and when he gets to his apartment stairs, he sees a mysterious man walking back. He doesn't think anything of it, although when he gets home, he sees his mom dead. Satoru tries to wake up his mom, although his neighbor came by and thought Satoru killed her. The police come and try to take Satoru, although he runs away. He then has a revival, although it seems different this time. Satoru then realizes he time-traveled 18 years, all the way back to 1988, and he is apparently going to school in 5th grade. Satoru goes to school and sees it's February 15th. While going to sit down, his teacher mentions Hinazuki is late, although no one knows why. Satoru starts running home to see his mom, and passes by Hinazuki walking to school. He gets home, looks at some past memories, and eventually falls asleep. He then happily wakes up to his mom coming home, and she starts making dinner like usual. The next day, he's walking to school and wonders why his revival took him back so much further than his other revivals. While in class, he notices Hinazuki has a mysterious bruise on her leg. During free time, Satoru's friend Kenya asks him if he likes Hinazuki. Kazu said he'll set up Satoru and Hinazuki, and next thing he knows, he's meeting up with her after school. Satoru then says he wants to be friends with her. Hinazuki doesn't give a straight answer, although she says, "I kind of understand, since we are both fakes." Satoru was shocked and didn't really know what she was talking about. She then says she saw Satoru running home yelling "Mom," and asked if his mom is really that important to him, and Satoru answers yes. As she's walking away, she says she'll be friends with him if he could kill someone for her. Satoru doesn't give an answer, and apparently Yuki was watching the whole time. The next day, he realized that Hinazuki noticed he was playing the role of his ideal self so he can get along with people. While getting ready to go home, Satoru asks if they can stop by at their friend hideout, although his friends tell him they already agreed to stop going since they'd leave footprints from the snow. They were all confused on why Satoru asked that, especially Kenya, and he thought something was off with him. While walking home, Kenya told Satoru he feels like Hinazuki being on his mind is something really important. Kenya also told him to read the student anthology. When Satoru gets home, he starts reading the student anthology.